All right, so we are setting up the Sorcerer. So we have 2 games left in our first round of this Grand Prix. The scores are as follows. And so we have the Sorcerer up next. I'm not even going to move him because he's just right at the bottom here. Um, and I think I'm going to go with what I would consider to be the standard Sorcerer. That's the one thing I don't like about Sorcerer is it is in my opinion, a very standard setup. I don't have a good second strategy for the sorcerer. Unlike a lot of other characters, you can sort of twiddle around with what you want to do with them. Right now, for me, I'm in a little bit of a rut with this guy. So we will see how this goes. I'm shooting for 2 points in 2 points in prowess. I am shooting for a spell point, at least one for sure. So that's 3 points, and then that's going to lead me to potentially 7 points in cards. But if I can get a point in gold or a point of great treasure, so I'm looking for at least 3 points. And what I'd really like is 5 points in the categories, and then from there, that gives me 5 points I need to get in cards. So the standard layout of spells here is Transform, Fiery Blast, Melt, and Mist. I think I'm going to go solo for a bit, using Melt to sort of pave my way. You'll see here, this is a great start position. We have access to the Deep Woods immediately, the Borderland and the Crag, and then the Cliff, and the Ruin, and like everything is just right here in this middle, right? There's a lot of that. And then even the ones that are remote, quote unquote, the High Pass, the Mountain, right? They're just through a little borderland chain. So it's a very nice map. One of those maps I go, wow, this is a hot map. This map could score you a lot of points, I think, if you can get a little lucky a little early and find some stuff close by. Excuse me, drinking fizzy water here. So that's cool. I'm using Transform to kill big things, hoping to get, of course, the crappy 4, 5, 6 roll to turn him into something that can attack me back. I'm using Fiery Blast to kill hordes of things. I am using Melt into Mist as my get out of jail free card. I thought of, instead of doing Melt into Mist, doing a World Fade. Doing a World Fade build. And I think I will at some point try that, but it's a little riskier. Let me show you a World Fade here. So I thought of this. I thought, okay, what about instead of like a Melt into Mist? What if we picked World Fades? It is also 6. It is also permanent. If target is unhidden and no monsters are on his sheet at the end of any combat round, he immediately gets a hide. Done. Can only use Magic Sight. Also interesting. So what this does for you, instead of Melt in the Mist, is Melt in the Mist has the disadvantages you cannot enchant any of these purple, because if you do, you will be unable to interact with them. Now, that could be a bonus. The bonus could be, hey, I don't want to interact with this anymore. This mountain, let's say the mountain is just, it's the lost castle, but all it has is warning chits and sound chits and no treasure for me. Then you can enchant that, and now you're melted permanent. But let's say it has the Horde and the Vault and the Cairn, and you want those, and then you melt, and then you transform this purple, enchanted purple. Now you can't grab any of that treasure. You can only move and hide and follow. So not good. Um, not good at all. And so the question there is, okay, well, why would you do, well, the Mountain Mist sounds like it sucks. Well, of course, it's the best spell in the game. It is a free getaway, get out of jail free card. As the sorcerer, you're going to have quite a few of these purple lined up. And all you got to do is pop one. And now no one can target you, no one can attack you. You are effectively untouchable. World hides would be a far more aggressive strategy because what you would do is you would absolutely go into the cliff and the mountain and the caves and the cavern and you would enchant them purple so that you could cast your attack spells like a fiery blast, and you probably wouldn't even take transform. You would probably take um lightning bolt maybe, and you would absolutely go in hidden attack using ambush because now you would using the ambush rules. Your lightning bolt, you can stay hidden for sure. Fire blast, you can't. As soon as you fire blast, it's multi-target. Everybody sees you, but they're not on your sheet at the end of the round because they don't get assigned to your sheet. You don't become unhidden until you actually put a target on someone. They're not assigned to your sheet till way before that during the random assignment stuff. So you're unhidden. Okay. So let's say you nuke 5 goblins or 4 goblins, and now you're unhidden, and the world is looking at you. But at the end of that round, with no one on your sheet, you disappear instantly with a hide roll. Don't get me wrong, you still have a 30% chance to fail by rolling a 6. So I consider that a more aggressive strategy. And you'd probably be a little better off if you had, man, anything other than like M4, M5. Like that goblin is going to, take you down here a little bit. So I thought maybe not on this Grand Prix run. Let's get him a score first. And then maybe we try that a little bit later, right? With something else. So anyway, that's a long way to say I picked the same damn 3 spells I pick all the damn time with him. This is it's one of the reasons I actually don't love the Sorcerer right now is because I just feel it's very samey each time. So having said that, let's see if we can't make samey awesome today. Let's try to make same old, same old. So what I need to do is I need to actually throw a couple more spells in type 4, type 6, just to see if can I make another couple strategies that are interesting and viable and not obvious, right? Something that doesn't make you go, well, you should obviously take that instead of Fiery Blast, but more, oh man, can I take that instead of Fiery Blast? So I will look into that too as we go. So let's get cards out the door here, and then we will cut this video and start the next one in a bit. So we get Envoy, which is do a trade phase with different groups you're friendly or allied with. Merchant, buy an item at one dwelling and sell it at another for 2 times your purchase price. And Giant Slayer, kill a giant. So all of those are fine and doable. Envoy is the tiniest bit tricky because none of your folks show up on the map. They're all, you have to find them all. I mean, we're certainly capable of doing all of those. It is whether or not, I suppose we keep those. They're all 3 points, so that's sort of cool. So yeah, I'll keep those. Now let's get events up and running. A possessed spirit, a miner, and the elven pathfinder, allowing us to use paths. I do have a problem, and that is this fan is just so awesomely powerful at its lowest level that it blows things around. My other fan was not. Like, it would just put a nice breeze up. What I need to do is turn it. It will find a way to still mess me up here. So we got Elven Pathfinder. I have the Possessed Spirit, and they're all out of order now because I had to. We played actually on Tabletop Simulator to test out multiple multiplayer on TTS, and these weren't in the cloud, and so I had to putz with these, putz with all these chits to get them clouded, and that mainly meant reloading, right? So re-putting them in another container. So let's get this Elven Pathfinder out the door here. First thing, one. So he's going to be at the chapel. So he's there. And what he does is, if you pick him up, he gives you the ability to walk these passive paths, all of them. And he costs, I don't know how much he costs, 6, 8. Pathfinder, 6 gold. So the Pathfinders cost 6. I mean, not terrible. $6, and you literally get to walk all those for free. So nothing necessarily wrong with that. It is expensive. We are going to do the spirit here. And the spirit is in 10-5. So he's in Ruins 5. So that's always a good spot. And then the minor is somewhere in the caves, right? So caves 4. So cave 4, he is there. Let's write these down. So we're going to have the spirit and minor. And those are our 2 in play point garnering events and our 3 cards. And we're at the inn, and I hope you can see that. Paladin. That one of all the ones is actually a very nice hot pink color already. So very nice to see. So I think we're ready to start. Given this, I think the hardest one to do is going to be on. That one I'm going to have at the end of the game and regret, I think, right? Or if I give it up, then immediately the company shows up. So, fancy that. But the company can show here and the Lancers can show here. You were just they're so right on top of each other that it's one of those where you go, man, I could picture a perfect world where there's a campfire here in Lindenwood 5, the Lancers, right? Like, these guys could all be super close together. The other question is, do you hire anyone? I do like to hire swordsmen. These rogue swordsmen are actually not bad to help with goblins, and they're not bad to kill. They're not awful to help with tremendous creatures that we transform, because they give you multiple chances to line up on something which otherwise you have to line. I mean, it's almost impossible to line up on. In fact, if I'm not going to use transform, that's a reason to not. I mean, if I'm not going to use extra dudes to help me kill the transformed things, that's sort of a reason to not use transform, because it is highly likely that you can't hit the guy in 2 rounds, and you have your transform shit sort of messed up. So having said that, you are likely to lose those guys on the first meld into mist you have to do, because you got meld into mist. So that also sucks. So they're not going to melt, remember, and they can't run either. So hirelings are there to die. I'm going to spend a day here in hopes that the company shows up. That's a 1 in 6, so it's sort of getting chance, right? I'm going to spend a day. Well, am I though? Am I? Am I? I don't know. If you're not going to hire, so if I'm not going to hire, I would love to just get out the door. I tell you what, we're going to get rid of Envoy at the beginning of the game for our free redraw, and we're going to do big game. Kill a creature of pick a size and you kill it. So I like that. That's easy. I do think you have to return to a dwelling though for big game, like as just a. Yep, and a phase in any dwelling. Kill a creature of the appropriate size, and you can get armor out of it, which is sort of cool. So the sorcerer with a breastplate, not the worst. So I like that. That's a lot easier to get done than where we were at. What would be the creature size we're going for? Medium obviously is great. And you'd be looking for this stack of goblins to show, and you would nuke them pretty much. Because you're almost certain to kill one of them. For anything else, you're probably transforming, strangely enough. I mean, you could get lucky too, obviously, and take them out. But so I think for big game, we're going to pick. Let's pick medium, and that's only creatures. You can't kill native. Let's take big game. Let's take medium, and let's hover around. So we're gonna check the first places we're gonna check are gonna be the Borderland and the Lindenwood and the Ruin. So these 3 tiles, and we're checking for wolves and goblins pretty much. Those are our 2 hopes. And Giant Slayer could happen in the mountains. Merchant, we are still gonna hope that we're gonna hope that we get some money, and then we're gonna hope either that one of our groups is going to show, or if not, then we're going to hope that we can buy something off, say, the rogues. And the only other problem, well, then the house, the only other problem is we don't like any garrison. All the garrisons, so the best we have is neutral. The rogues are neutral to us. Every other garrison is unfriendly or enemies with us. So what that means is, excuse me for the clearing throat. I'm probably going to actually wait a little bit to start this game. So the only other thing we got then is hoping for a campfire and hoping for someone to show there. So the patrol, or here the patrol. So okay, all right. There's my start. I'm ready to go here. I will talk to you all in a little bit. Thank you and bye bye.